So this guys, this and ladies, this story was published 11 days ago by ABC 13 Houston, and it really stuck out to me just because of the vulgarity, just how gruesome of a story it is. And I wanted to get into the discussion because the comments were also very disturbing. So let me go ahead and read this story, then I'll offer my commentary. So, Houston woman killed after showing ultrasound to her accused killer, family says. Houston police are searching for a man accused of killing a pregnant 25-year-old woman and leaving her body on the side of the road back in October. ABC 13 spoke exclusively with the family of 25-year-old Cavanna Smith, who said the murder happened the same day she showed an ultrasound to the man she was seeing. Smith's body was found on October 6 on the side of Reed Street in Irvington. Nearly 1 month later, Quanmaine Travion Boyd was charged with capital murder. Now there is a warrant out for his arrest. He shot her like she was a dog, and I wouldn't even do that to a dog, said Smith's sister Brittany Wilson. When you imagine someone would shoot a dog and just leave them like an animal in the middle of the street. Wilson says she went to an ultrasound appointment with her sister on October 5th after finding out she was pregnant the day before she was murdered. While Wilson said her sister was nervous, she was also excited. Smith told Boyd she was pregnant, but he didn't take the news lightly. He was not happy and said he did not want any more children, Wilson said. Smith went to see Boyd the next day to get the money he owed her. Her text to her family revealed she feared something could happen. She said, "I'm going to get my money, and if anything happens to me, this is where I am at," and shared her location, Wilson recalled. The same night, one of their other sisters received a chilling screenshot from Smith's best friend. The text sent from Smith, time-stamped at 6:45 p.m., read, "I have been kidnapped. I'm in the back of Quan's truck." At the sight of that message, Smith's family immediately called 911. According to court records doing an investigation, a body was found on Reed Street, later identified as Smith. Records show police found a positive pregnancy test in Boyd's apartment with a note and an ultrasound picture. Smith was one of 5 children. Her mother described her as the life of the family with a big career ahead of her. She was an entrepreneur and was going back to school to get her master's in criminal justice. She didn't deserve what happened to her, Smith's mom said. "My main concern is justice will be served. She was a young person and just only began to live her life. Anyone with the information in this case is urged to contact the HPD Homicide Division at 713-308-3600 or Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS. Okay, so let me read some of the comments. Of course, I really don't want to read the comments. They were very disturbing. I can scroll through them. But as you would expect, most people were blaming, a lot of people, I wouldn't say most, a lot of people were blaming the victim and saying she picked a bad guy. Why did she pick this guy? She knew he was bad, news, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to keep it short, what I feel like saying to these people that are blaming the victim. First and foremost, Quanmaine Travion Boyd is a grown-ass man. I don't remember them giving his age, but if you're grown enough to lay down, you're grown enough to take care of whatever comes from you laying down with a person. That's what I tell my sons. So he laid down with her, and he claims he doesn't want any more children. So I'm wondering, why is he not getting his vasectomy? It is so simple. Like, if you don't want any more children, you have 2 options. You can get a vasectomy, men, or you can practice practice abstinence. Just completely abstain for having sex. Stop having sex. Do not have any sex. Now, people are blaming Cavanna Smith, but she never said she didn't want to have children. She was nervous, but she was excited about possibly having a child. And if we dig further into this story, some people said that Boyd, the guy, the murderer, he actually has children by other women. And someone said that there was actually a child that was born shortly around the time that Cavanna was murdered. So I don't know if he was in another relationship or he was married. I don't know. And honestly, it doesn't matter. So, of course, I would love to tell, women, we have to choose better. We have to be more discerning. But she was 25 years old. No one has all this life experience at 25 where you know how to deal with relationships. And I tell people all the time, like, Americans do not know how to be in relationships, how to be married. None of that. We know how to get married. We know how to fall in love. But actually maintaining that relationship is a whole different story. That's just what my experience has taught me at almost 40 years old. So I feel like Cavanna Smith is just like any other young lady, pretty much any young person, period. She's in love and she's excited about having a baby. To my knowledge, this is her first child. This would have been her first child. And so I remember being that young lady. I had my first son 2 months prior to turning 22. And I was scared, but I was excited as well. So I don't see why you're blaming someone who clearly wants to have children. She didn't want to have an abortion, and it shouldn't be on her to have an abortion. She's the one that wants the child. If you're the person who doesn't want the child, do what you need to do to make sure you can't get people pregnant. That falls on you. If you're around someone who wants a child and they've made it clear they want children especially, but even if they don't say anything, like every grown-up knows, if you're smart, if you're grown enough to sleep with someone, you should know better by now that sex creates babies. That's the purpose of sex. So I don't understand why everyone's looking at her, Cavanna Smith, the victim, and wondering why she ended up with this crap-ass dude who killed her. Was it her fault that she fell for him? Should she have maybe looked at the red flags and said, I need to stay away from him? How do we know that she knew he was crazy until it was too late? Why is it just falling on the woman to do everything? You're walking around your silly self as a grown man saying you don't, and you're not even a man, you're a male, because real men don't do what he did. But you're walking around saying you don't want any more children. Then why are you still keeping yourself of that, in this state where you can still impregnate women? That's what I don't get. Like, if you don't want children to the point that you take someone's life and the baby's life to keep from that child being born, like you're willing to do something that drastic, that what is stopping you from getting a vasectomy? What is stopping you from just abstaining from not having any sex until you know the person I'm laying down with, we've talked and we know we want to have kids? It's disgusting what he did. And as I've said, probably in my other video, eye for an eye. He deserves the death penalty. I absolutely believe in the death penalty if you have irrefutable facts and evidence that this person committed this crime. Fucking throw the book at him. He took her life and his own unborn child's life. Did not allow this child to even be born. This child's own father killed the baby. I don't know the gender, so it's heartbreaking. It's ridiculously ludicrous. Like, I can't even understand. You don't want children that much, but you can't just get a vasectomy. You're out here impregnating women and then crying and whining and moaning that now you had to pay child support. Now you got someone pregnant. Now I have to kill someone and my own unborn child because I'm a dumbass. And it's crazy to me because people are blaming the victim. For what? For falling in love? For getting pregnant? That's what sex is for. That's why we're on this earth, to procreate, dumbasses. Are people stupid? Like, I just be like, are we in such a male worshipping culture in this patriarchal society that we can't use our brains anymore for common sense? I know for women, it's actually harder for us, to my knowledge, if we want to tie our tubes. If you really know, I don't want any more kids, you go get your tubes tied, right? So he's running around saying, I don't want any more kids, but you're having sex all willy-nilly Who's really at fault? Who's really the fucking issue here? Who's the real problem here? I don't think it's Cavanna Smith. From what I read in the story, she doesn't have a bunch of kids everywhere. She's not saying she doesn't want any more kids, but she's pregnant. Reading is fundamental, people. Do better. Stop blaming the victim. And I want him gone. People like that trash that murdered this young lady with a baby in her stomach. So he killed 2 people. And then you just dump her like she was nothing. You are not worth living. Quan Main, with your stupid name, Quan Main, Travion Boyd, you don't deserve to live. If you committed this crime, and pretty sure he did, he does not deserve to still walk this earth with the rest of humans who actually value life. You don't value life, Quan Main Boyd, so why should you get to have your life? So let me know what you guys think about this gruesome story. I am extremely just angry about it. I am really tired of seeing these kinds of stories. And I'm really tired of seeing the responses that I'm seeing in these stories. Rest in peace to Cavanna Smith and her unborn child. And, he's going to get his. I'm going to follow the story. I want him to get what's coming to him. I think they're still looking for him. This story was published 11 days ago, and this crime happened back in October. So I guess they are still hunting him down, hopefully like an animal, and justice will be served. Justice will absolutely be served, and I don't want to waste my money, my taxpayer dollars, on him sitting in some prison for forever. Because these types of clowns, they're the main ones to be living till they're 100 years old on our dime. No, you need to just be done with you. You sealed your death warrant when you killed Cavanna Smith and the baby. You're pointless. You're useless to the community. Why are you still breathing air? Why are you still alive? Extremely pointless. She would have done more for our community, getting her master's in criminal justice, being an amazing person, than he could ever do. He doesn't deserve to live at this point. And you killed an innocent woman and an innocent child, an innocent baby, and it was your baby. That's what disgusts me even. Seriously? Just disgusting. This is some stuff Cynthia G talks about, and it's just the disdain that black males have for their children, their own offspring, because they hate themselves so much. And I don't know if this guy is black. His name sounds black, but I'm not going to assume. So I really haven't said any race thus far, but the hatred is real in Quan Main Boyd. He has a lot of self-hate. I could never imagine taking the life of my own child. It's just vile. It's absolutely disgusting. Oh, I don't want any more kids. Well, then get a vasectomy. You truly don't want any more children, get a vasectomy. Because for women, a lot of things could happen that you end up pregnant. People just assume it's her fault. But he could use a condom, and the condom could come off and he not tell you. And oop, you're pregnant. I think isn't there in California, they call it stealth mode or stealthing, where guys are sliding off the condom and women don't know. That's against the law now. So it is a thing. There's so many variables, so many different situations. Sex is complicated. Or sex is complicated. I think YouTube is blocking us saying certain words. But anyways, That you can't, it's not just black and white. There's so many different things you could be doing. And then you have to consider who wants children, who doesn't. Like, they're both grown. It was consensual. Nobody forced him to have sex with her. This whole thing it just disgusts me. This whole story disgusts me. So I look forward to the day they catch him. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Okay, so here's a quick update, guys. So happy to see this news. This was published by ABC 13, November 22nd, 2021. Man arrested in murder of 25-year-old pregnant Houston woman. Cavanna Smith's body was found on the side of Reed Street in Irvington in October. The 25-year-old had been shot. She is just stunningly beautiful. So this is coming out of Houston, Texas. The man accused of shooting and killing a 25-year-old pregnant woman before leaving her body on the side of the road has been arrested. Kwame Trevion Boyd, age 25 as well, is charged with capital murder in the death of Cavanna Smith. Boyd was arrested last Friday without incident. Good. And yes, he's black. Aren't we surprised? No, I'm gonna shout out. But anyways, ABC 13 spoke exclusively with Smith's family, who said the murder happened the same day she showed an ultrasound to the man she was seeing. Smith's body was found on October 6th on the side of Reed Street in Irvington, just near the North Loop. He shot her like she was a dog, and I wouldn't even do that to a dog, said Smith's sister Brittany Wilson a week ago. When you imagine someone would shoot a dog and just leave them like an animal in the middle of the street. She was 4.5 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. Oh my gosh. So Boyd, who went on the run, is unemployed and has no income, but is responsible for $250 a month in support payments for his 4 children. Oh my gosh. Who range in the age from 1 to 5. So instead of him getting a vasectomy, he's just running around having kids, and now he's like flipping out because he's trying to figure out how he's going to pay for these said children. You already have 4 kids. Like, you don't even know how you're going to take care of them. Like, I would say you're done having kids. This is ridiculous. How did I know he had a bunch of kids? I knew he did. Because it's like black guys act like they have no autonomy over their own bodies. Like, they can't control whose puss they fall into, how they fall into it, what they, it's just ridiculous. It's like, freaking get some self-discipline and self-control. Do what you need to do to make sure you don't have any more kids. It's called family planning. What an idiot. So he was booked into the Harris County Jail on Friday at 9:26 p.m. and is being held without bail, which is good. Smith's mother, Cavanna Smith's mom, says she's glad he's been arrested. She said her family is there. This is from Daily Beast, so she told this to Daily Beast on Monday. This was published November 22nd of this year. She said the family's very emotional and distraught over Smith's death. Whatever happens to him, if justice is served, I'm glad, but it's not going to bring my daughter back. Okay, let's see here. And she went to get money from him. He's unemployed. I'm like, did he even have the money? It's probably another reason why he killed her, because he knew he didn't have nothing, and that was reminding him just what a douche he is. It said a few minutes later, Smith texted her friend again saying she'd been kidnapped. Why are you playing with me? Stop playing with me, the friend wrote back. I'm not. I'm in the back of Quan's truck, Smith replied. Man, what the WTF he kidnapping you for? The friend asked. And Smith responded, he got my money and he don't want to give it to me. Because he doesn't have it to give. Oh, what a bum. What a bum. And this is one thing I want to say to ladies. Please stop dating guys that are beneath you. Like, if he doesn't have even making the kind of money you're making or more, and of course, like they're saying he's unemployed now, he could have had a job. So that's why I don't believe in blaming the victim, because it's not their fault that this person's deranged. But that's just a tip I like to throw out there for women when we're dating. She shouldn't be giving him no money. I mean, to me too, it's like I don't believe in giving guys money at all. If I'm not your wife, why am I giving you money? But that's a whole nother video. So Smith's friend said she would come over to get her, but Smith has already stopped responding. Moments later, a neighbor leaving for work spotted the two standing next to a white pickup truck loudly arguing. During the course of the argument, he observed the male shoot the female once. Wow. So there's actually witnesses that saw this. Where she immediately collapsed, the complaint states. The male stood there for a moment before getting into the driver's seat of the truck and leaving the location. He's a dumbass. He's reckless. He's a reckless idiot. So a short time earlier, Smith attempted to flag down a passing truck driver for help, pleading with him to call 911, but the driver drove away after seeing Boyd holding a rifle, according to the complaint. During an October 21 search of Boyd's home, detectives found a greeting card on the bedroom dresser dated October 3rd and addressed to Boyd. Juan, I know this isn't what we expected, but we are expecting, said a note inside, written in black Sharpie. Next to the card was an Equate one-step home pregnancy test showing 2 positive results. The complaint states. Detectives also found a pamphlet from a local clinic nearby containing an ultrasound image dated October 5th with the name Cavanna Smith. Inside Boyd's nightstand, investigators discovered a receipt from Academy Sports and Outdoors showing a September 15 purchase of a Taurus GC2 9mm handgun, as well as 9mm and rifle ammunition matching the ammunition found at the crime scene. Boyd's uncle say he is shaken and confused by the charges facing his nephew. It's just really out of character, Kenneth Boyd told the Daily Beast. I don't know how this occurred. I don't know. That's just out of his character to me, and I don't know how it happened. So if his own uncle is saying this is out of character, why should Cavanna Smith have known who he was? Like, we don't know that guys lie to get in our pants. They don't say anything. So this is for all the people who are like, she should have known better. Why she get with him? Blah, blah, blah. This is, like, women, it's not women's jobs to, like, be able to read a guy's mind. You're a grown man. Act accordingly. Like, act like a man. Stop being a little boy who's doing manly things and then crying and whining and running away from the problem and doing stupid stuff, making bad decisions when, you know, the consequences come out. She shouldn't, you know, people are like, oh, you should have known. People be with people of 20-some years and don't know who they're married to. People get killed from their married partners they've been with forever and didn't see it coming. So Boyd is due to appear before a judge on Monday afternoon, according to court filings. I mean, you never know anyone. And they never said how long she's known him either. So for people to just assume that she didn't know this guy, she could have known him forever. Like the one woman who was murdered by her boyfriend. She grew up with him. So you just don't know anyone. His own uncle, in this story, his own uncle did. Kwame Brown's own uncle said this is out of character for him. That's what he said. He could be just saying whatever to try to get a story together, a defense. But if he's lying and saying my nephew would not have done this, why should Cavanna Smith know who he is? So you guys, let me know what you think about this story. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.